All right.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for those of you that were able to hop on tonight. And for those catching the recording, thank you for watching the recording. I'm really excited about this team call because, as we've said, like time and time again, challenge groups are like the bread and butter of what it is that we do as coaches, because we're not about just selling products and being like, okay, go do your thing. Like, we're about helping people actually get results and get through these programs. So I'm excited to share what's been working well for me. I know Andy's excited to share what's been working well for her. And then if you guys, any of you want to hop on and just say what you like about the challenge groups, what's working well, more than welcome to get your opinions at the end too, because we want to hear from as many people as we can about it. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention really quick, I know that the call has been going around, Andrea Crowder's call that she did with Kate Morgan, the girl who started in December and is now, it's April, and is making like a significant income and has grown her business super, super quick. I don't know if any of you caught that, but if you haven't, it's been posted, and I know Andy's team page, Julie posted it in our team page and Team Goal Crushers, and a lot of people I've been having text me and reach out and be like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy that she was able to grow her business that fast, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it is, and it is amazing, and I am like so impressed by the work that she has put in, and that's just it, you guys. She has put in a lot of work. And so what I wanted to do really quick is just kind of break down the numbers for you, because I listened to it again today, and she said that she just invites the first 2 weeks of her month, and then the rest of the month she just focuses on her coaches, on her challenge groups, and things like that. She doesn't invite the whole rest of the month. But in the first 2 weeks of the month, you guys, she invites 62 people a day, which is insane. That is so many people that she's inviting every single day, right? And so if you do the math, which it took me a while to do the math, I know it's kind of sad, but I did. So if you do the math, 62 people a day, she invites 868 people a month, okay? And that's all just in the first 2 weeks of the month. So that's 868 people that she's inviting every single month. Now, I'll tell you guys right now, I average probably inviting about 10 people a day, every single day. I'm pretty consistent with my business every single day. That's only 300 people a month. I'm not even inviting half the amount of people that she's inviting, okay? So I want you to think back to March, for example. How many people did you invite to the challenge group, to the business opportunity in March? And how many people is that away from how many people she's inviting? If you want to grow this business fast, you guys, it is dang possible, but it does take reaching out to a lot of people. It takes hard work. It takes consistency, as she is definitely proving, and as some of the women on her team are also proving by kind of following suit with what she's doing. And the other thing I wanted to mention, you guys, she said that in March, for example, is when she started this inviting in the first half of the month. So in March, she invited 868 people, let's just say, because maybe she'd invited a little more, a little less. So on average, she said she got 100 Success Club points in March, which is incredible. She helped 50 people all by herself. She helped 50 people in March. That is astounding. But she invited 868 people. So she's had 800 people in 1 month either say no to her or flat out ignore her. And I want you guys to recognize that that happens to all of us, and it's okay. And she even says in that call about how the people that say no, now they're watching her and they're coming up the next month or the month after that and are joining her groups because she was brave enough to reach out to them. And then the other thing that I wanted to quickly mention about that as well is she doesn't do forming. And I know Laura and Pam, you guys are both kind of newer to the team, but forming is how we used to go about getting to know people, building relationships with them before we would invite them. So it means family, occupation, recreation, and then getting to your message. So what is it that you're talking to people about? You're talking to them about their family, their occupation, things they like to do for fun, and then you're getting to your message of inviting people. And this girl has basically cut that out. And to be honest, that's kind of something similar to what I've been doing. So I think this is one of those things where we have to change with the times and change with social media, in that forming people the way that we used to, sending those messages and saying, hey girl, how are you? Your kids are so cute. How old are they? Whatever, isn't working as well anymore. Because guys, there are a lot of people out there that are doing MLMs and are sending very similar messages. And I know for me personally, and this is kind of why I've stopped doing it that way, if when I get messages like that, my first instinct is, okay, what do you want? Like, I know you don't know me. You don't know who my kids are. You don't care how old my son is. Like, what do you want? Like, just I might want what you want, but just tell me what you want. And so I've been kind of going that route of getting to the point and just saying, hey, I've got this next challenge group kicking off. I would love for you to be a part of it. And I think a big part of that plays into just having the confidence to do that and knowing that you have something that can help and change somebody's life. Like Andy reaching out to me and inviting me to be a part of this has completely changed my life. My life is so different than it was 4 years ago when I joined her first challenge group. And I'm so thankful for that. And so I reach out with that intent of, I have something that can totally change your life and help you if you want it to. And I'm okay with all the no's. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up because I know it's been going around. I've had so many people reach out and message me and just be like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy what she's been able to do. And just kind of put it into perspective a little that if you want to grow your business like that, you so can. It's going to take reaching out to a lot of people, and it's going to take just going out there and bravely, without hesitation, inviting people. So I don't know, Andy, if you wanted to add anything to that, my little rant at the beginning of this team.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to me because I think it was just last week when Shane and I were checking in with each other, I was saying, like, I've kind of just cut out that part because it just wasn't really working for me. And I was telling her when I would go through my Teamsy, people would pop up that I didn't even feel like I had formed long enough. And I was just inviting them because I just felt like that's what I wanted to be doing. And then this call came across my phone, thanks to my coach, Kim, who found it. And I watched it right away when it popped up, which I don't normally do, but something told me like, watch, well, her in all caps saying, watch this right now. That was probably it. So I watched it and I kept thinking to myself, this is everything we've been preaching our entire coaching careers, minus the forming part, because we used to really preach to form a relationship first because that's what used to work better. And the only thing this chick is doing different is that she's doing it on a much grander scale. And it reminded me of Team Cup months. If you've been on the team long enough to have experienced a Team Cup month, in those Team Cup months, anytime I have been the captain of a team, I'm always encouraging them to 10x what they normally do in the month because it's Team Cup month. And typically you see people help more people in that month. She's doing that all of the time. And I just said to Shayna right before people started hopping on the call that it's refreshing to feel like we're all doing the right things. If you're inviting, you're doing the right thing. You just need to up your game. And so for the last few days, I've been doing that. I feel like I was challenged and inspired by it. I loved how she put it in the perspective of, just like Shayna was saying, you're giving somebody a gift. So who cares if people ignore you or tell you no, they're not your people, which we're always saying, right? So it felt good to hear it from somebody else. And the other piece of it is consistency. She's doing it every day. So if you've been struggling to help people to hit Success Club, then you're just not talking to enough people. And the other side of it is your social media and sharing your journey. So I've been really struggling the last couple of months because I've been having a really hard time working out with this pregnancy. I'm just in a lot of pain when I work out. And I've had to tell that story over and over and over again. And then to pull in the fitness side of what we do as coaches, I'm relying on sharing my challenger stories and my coaches' stories and other things. I'm constantly talking about these fitness programs, and I'm not even doing them right now, you guys, but I'm very true and transparent to my journey and where I'm at right now. And so I'm still able to attract people and help people. So whether you're working your business from a personal page, from a fitness page, from Instagram, or all three, you need to do your due diligence to constantly tell your story. So if somebody gets a message from you, if they've seen any of your posts ever, they know you're into fitness. So it's not going to be weird. And to me, that bridges the gap of get rid of the forming, because just in watching this video and thinking about what people must think when they get a message from Andy Worsham Fitness, it's like, well, duh, you're trying to sell me something eventually. Why are you asking me about my kids right now? Like, it makes perfect sense, because when I get something from somebody and I click on their page and it says Roden and Fields executive level 15 or whatever, I'm like, duh, just tell me you want me to buy your face stuff. Like, get to it. I also think that in the world of Instagram, it is more get to the point, even more so than on Facebook. So I think that's part of why we're seeing the shift. And this chick did mention she runs her business mostly through Instagram. So I just want to encourage you guys. I don't care where you're at in your business today, implement this. don't be afraid of it, because if your heart is in the right place, you're being consistent and you're sharing your journey with wherever you're at, who gives a crap about the no's? They're probably just not your people, or they will be your people in a couple months when they see your consistency and they see your results continuing to come. They will learn to trust you. But jump to the invite, you guys. Make it sincere, make it short and sweet. And one more quick thing, Shayna and I didn't talk to you about this, but I'm throwing it out there because I know you will. We will share in our team pages what those messages have been looking like, how simple it is that we've been saying what we've been saying to people, to take, for example, a post, or like Shayna showed me a really good one today where she talked about a video that she had posted. So then anybody who saw that video, she was sending them a message saying, not sure you saw my video, maybe you did. Do you want to check this out? Sort of thing. Very simple. Keep it simple. Okay, back to Shayna.
All right, so now to the bread and butter of this call, which is all about challenge groups, because once you have people who are joining you, you want to give them the best experience possible, right? And I know that it can be a little intimidating. And guys, I want to first start out with, some groups are going to be awesome. They are going to be kick-ass groups, and you're going to be like, gosh, everybody in here is rocking it. Everybody's participating. This is amazing. Some groups are going to be duds, and it's just going to happen. You cannot go to somebody's house and force them to work out. You can't go to their house and make their shake for them. You can't go to their house and post their pictures for them on social media. Some people are going to do it. Some people aren't. And sometimes you're going to have those groups that are just dud groups. And I want you to know we all have those every once in a while. It happens. It's not your fault. And all you can do is continue to encourage every single person in that group until it's over. So I'm going to give you just 3 of like my top things that have been working really, really well for me right now. And then I'm going to pass it off to Andy to give you a couple more. And then we're going to open it up if you guys want to share anything that's been working really well in your challenge groups, or for your newer coaches, the things that you like about the challenge groups that you'd want to use in yours, whatever you want to talk about. So first and foremost, my number 1 tip for you guys is to use a template. There are templates in your Coach Online office for literally every single program out there. There's a multi-program template that you can use if you're doing a challenge group of people doing any program. For example, I've got one group who everybody's doing a different program. They're doing what's working for them. And I have another group, and we're all doing 80-day obsession together. So I used the 80-day obsession template, and I post every single day, and I can schedule it. When you're on Facebook, you can actually schedule in those posts, which is really awesome. So you can schedule those posts in so that every day at a certain time, those posts are going to come up. So you can either use the templates to your Coach Online office. We have a ton of templates as a team. If you look in the files section of either of our team pages, we've got all kinds of templates that we use. We have templates that have daily check-ins, which really encourage engagement, which is awesome. And the reason why I'm saying use a template, because a lot of people are like, okay, but is it weird that I've got this like posts coming out every single day and I've scheduled a month in advance? Okay, here's the thing, guys. One of the things that we want to do as coaches is add value into our challenge groups, okay? We want to give value to the people in the groups. We want to give them information. We want to give them things that they can hold on to, that they can grasp, that they can take back and start using in their lives. And I will tell you right now, and I bet every single one of you can agree at some level, I'm not feeling motivated and inspired and necessarily happy, Shayna, every single day of the week, right? So on those days where I don't have anything extra to add, I don't feel all that inspiring, I've got something going into my challenge group that's going to add value there. Now, with that being said, if you feel like the group maybe is lagging a little bit, or maybe you feel like I've got these like rock stars that are kicking butt, but I've got like still this handful of people who maybe post every now and again, or they're not posting very often, one of the things that I like to do is reach out to my rock stars in the group and just be like, hey, you are kicking ass. Will you go ahead and shout out so-and-so, or hold that person accountable and call them out today and be like, hey, did you get your workout in? Or will you comment on their next post and just show them some love? Because I know they're going through something, and I know that they would really appreciate it if they had some more love and support. Ask people to step up and to help you in your groups to make your groups better. Ask them for that engagement. So that's my number 1 tip for you. Use a template, ask those people for engagement, encourage that engagement, and it's going to really, really help your group. Now, with that being said, my number 2 tip is to go live in your challenge groups. And you guys, I know that some people are like still having a hard time with going live and it makes you really nervous, but I will tell you right now, your challenge groups are probably the safest place in the world for you to go live, right? Because it's full of people who have trusted you with their health and fitness, who are putting themselves out there for you. They're posting their before pictures. They're posting their sweaty selfies every day, which probably makes them a little uncomfortable. As coaches, we all get used to it, and we probably don't even think about what we look like in our pictures anymore. But a lot of times, these newer people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm posting a picture of me looking like this right now, right? So it's a really vulnerable place for people. So this is a safe place for you to go live. And I love going live in my groups. And the reason for that is, one, they get to see me and just real me. Don't feel like you have to get on live in your group and put your makeup on and get your hair done and have nice clothes on, and you've got to be all perfect and talking about how perfect you are with your nutrition and your fitness. Guys, for the most part, I go live in my group at about 5:30 in the morning because that's when I have time before my kids wake up. My hair is a mess. I still have sleepy voice half the time because I just woke up. I don't have makeup on. I think sometimes I have a bra on, sometimes I forget, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's just into my challenge groups. But just pop in and be real and be honest and talk about what it is that maybe you're struggling with, or maybe you struggled with at the beginning of doing these challenge groups. So for example, I go live into my groups. I talk about nutrition a lot. I talk about how I go into the weekends and how I treat my lifestyle of being more 80-20. I talk about committing to the meal plan and just being really raw and honest about how, we're not always going to be perfect. We're going to slip up. You're going to have to show yourself grace, but just pick it up the next day. Pick it up the next meal. You don't have to wait until the next Monday. I go live and I talk about workouts. If there was a really hard workout, I'll go live in the group and be like, guys, this workout was really hard for me. I didn't want to work out today, but I did because all of you guys are here showing up. Go live talking about how you make certain foods, how you make certain meals. I just went live in my challenge group yesterday, I think. It's Monday. Yes, yesterday. Showing them what I grocery shopped and what kind of things I'm going to be meal prepping so that they could see it. And I even say, look, some of these things aren't 100% perfect, but that's okay, because for me, sometimes it's more about ease than it is about being 100% on point. So just go into your groups, go live, be real. Share your struggles, share the struggles of other people. Jenny, how often do you go live? I try to go live at least a couple of times a week, and it honestly depends on my mood. And I'm going to be super honest, you guys. Most of you know that I struggle with depression, and I have my good weeks and I have my weeks where I'm just like, screw this. I don't want to do anything. I barely want to be on social media, and I do bare minimum, okay? I go up and down with my mood. So when I'm feeling really good, I go live a lot more. And when I'm kind of feeling in a slump, I don't go live as much. And maybe I'll even go live and talk about how I'm in a slump. But yeah, usually my general rule of thumb is like at least twice a week. Sometimes I'll go live more. I don't overthink it. So let's say I go live at 5:30 in the morning to talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. And then in the middle of my day, something pops into my head of something I want to say. I'll just go live again. It doesn't matter. I'll go live as many times as I want, as long as I've got something that I feel will add value and I want to say. Okay, so the last thing that I want to share with you, trying to keep this short, sweet, and to the point, is to share your meal plans in your groups. And if you are not creating your own meal plans, then get meal plans from the team page and share those into the group, but share meal plans into the group. And I want to encourage you to share your own, because that's what's going to hold you accountable. I don't know about you, but a lot of people get into this. And part of the reason I got into this was because being a coach holds me accountable to my own health goals. Okay. I don't feel like I can cheat as much, because when I do cheat, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to say, look, I'm out to dinner and I'm having a beer and macaroni and cheese. I'm going to be really honest about it. So I feel like I keep myself on point a whole lot more because I'm sharing my meal plans. And I am meal planning and meal prepping because I know, okay, I've got to create this meal plan and post it in my group. And I don't always want to, I'm not going to lie. It got to be late Thursday night this last Thursday, and our entire weekend was just kind of a disaster. I didn't get my meal plan done and posted into my group until I think like 9:30 at night. But I was like, damn it, I have to do it tonight. Like I told my groups every Thursday night, by Thursday night, I will have the meal plan posted. I have to do it. I've got to come up with what I'm doing next week. And so that forces me to be accountable. It forces me to be a product of the product, to make sure that my nutrition is on point. And it helps them, it adds value into your group to show what it is that you're doing. And hopefully some of you guys are a little more interesting with your meal plans than I am, because I literally eat the same thing all the time. So it probably gets a little boring, but that shows them what it is that I do that works for my lifestyle. And then it gives them a way to kind of ask questions about, oh, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Or, I don't like eating the same thing every day. What else can I do? And then I can research some more meals, research some other things that they can do, which I feel like helps me to be a better coach. It helps me to grow as well. So those are my 3 things that have been working really well for me. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off over to Andy.
Love it. Okay, so I actually still run my challenge groups through the app. That's where Shane and I differ a little bit. And I feel like there's pros and cons to doing it that way, but the people that I've been working with most recently prefer it. So I'm staying there. So I can't go live. Unfortunately, the video part, if you're running your groups through the app, that's the one downfall that I don't like, is the video part. I can shoot videos and I can put them in there, but it's not live, so you can't have people interacting. So that's kind of a bummer. But other than that, Shane and I are really similar in how we run our groups. In fact, I've been doing the meal plan thing like she has been doing, and I feel like that's helped a lot. I also do an entire week of prep, which I wanted to bring up because this is something that I've done now more recently, maybe about 6 months, would you say, Shayna? We've been doing this prep week thing. And I feel like it helps so much because it gives me time to talk mostly about the nutrition. The workouts are one thing. They're going to follow a calendar. I post in that prep week about where to find the calendar of BOD for whatever specific program they're doing, scheduling their workouts and all of that sort of stuff. But what I've noticed is what people need the most help with understanding is the nutrition side of things. It's one thing to be the motivator and encourager to get them to do the workouts. And yes, sometimes there's questions there, but having the prep and what am I going to eat? What does that look like? How do you shop? And I've talked a lot about budgeting in my groups, which has been helpful for 2 reasons. One, it's giving me leverage when I'm in conversations with people and I get that number one objection about price to say, well, look, you're in luck because in the prep week that you're going to get with this group, I'm going to go over how I budget, how I shop, and how I incorporate Shakeology into my grocery budget for our family of 5, almost 6, and how we actually save money because we're buying just what we need to eat. We're not wasting. We're not buying a bunch of extra snacks. And so Shakeology ends up lowering our grocery bill because it's a full meal. And on top of that, in the prep week, I'm showing that. I have videos, I have sample meal plans in that week, and lots of examples on how I specifically shop to see that through. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from my people lately that they appreciate that and that that's been helpful. So when you're in your groups, think about, Tiffany, I'm just reading your question right now. Have I shared that on the team page? No, but I can. Shane and I actually got a prep week from Margot from Hard Hitters about 6 months ago, and we loved it. And since then, I'm sure we both have tweaked it here and there. So I'll send you what mine looks like now. That's part of that and part of just what I've added to it and tweaked, or I'll post it, in the team page. Anyways, so moving on from prep week, the biggest thing, you guys, is to show up every day. Like I mentioned, right now I'm having a really hard time working out. I'm going for walks and I'm doing upper body stuff because that's all I can do right now. And so I'm talking about that every day. I'm definitely checking in with my shakes every day. I'm talking about my nutrition. I'm sharing easy recipes because the other thing I pride myself on, since I don't like to cook and nutrition is my struggle, is the simplest meals ever because that's the only thing I do. For example, tonight we had salad and a rotisserie chicken because it's clean, it's cheap, and it's easy. So I share that in my groups. You need to be the one that's showing up every day. And you also need to be the one that is loving on everybody's posts. That's actually one of my favorite parts of our job. And I have a schedule of when I do that every day so that it happens. I think that it's so important. And I've run groups with so many coaches before, and I notice after, the first week or so, I feel like I'm the only one loving on posts. And sometimes it irks me a little bit because I feel like, this is what we're supposed to do, whether it's your personal challenger or not. If you're running a group with another coach or alone, I think the expectation should be, and here's a little bit of tough love, that you're supporting and encouraging every challenger in there because they need that. And the groups that always are the best and always deliver the best results and the best accountability and camaraderie are the ones where the people are getting those comments. I remember getting comments from my coach. I remember I would post, and then I would be like a stalker to see anytime I had a notification on my Facebook, is it Logan, checking on my post, because that filled my cup so much. So I always try to remember that you promised these people support, encouragement, and all these things, so you need to show up for them. When I go to bed and I haven't done that, because I'm not going to lie, there's nights where I'm just out of gas and I'm just I'll check in the morning. I feel so guilty. It's not even worth it. I might as well just stay up and check in and know that I've done my due diligence to support these people, because, Stephanie could have had a really hard day and she still pressed play and she's looking for that, good job, after she wrote a novel about her hard day. And if I don't even acknowledge it or anything, that's kind of sad. So I want you guys to think about it like that. And the last tip on challenge groups is to check in behind the scenes with your people and call them out. If they're not showing up, call them out. And this is done, in my opinion, on a very personal level, in the sense that every time somebody buys a challenge pack and joins my group, they get a personal email from me that kind of walks them through what to expect from prep week, and what the group will look like. And I also attach a meal plan there because I'm really trying to zero in on their nutrition needs. So, and that's in the team page, I'm sure, but I can repost that as well, what that email looks like. But in the email, I say, do I have permission to call you out if I notice that you're not showing up? And I've had challengers tell me, yes, but please do it privately. I've had people say, yes, that's exactly why I need you, is so that you will. But I like to ask permission for that. But if they give you that yes, then absolutely call them out and say, where are you? I haven't seen you for a couple days. I tend to do a lot more of this behind the scenes, just because I feel like even if somebody says yes, they might not want to be called out publicly. It depends on the personality, which is why it's a good idea to get to know the person and ask what they would like in terms of that. But I'm constantly checking in, whether it's via text or with the challenge group tracker app. You could just hit send message, and I think it actually sends them a text message, because I always get text messages back from weird numbers. I'm like, oh yeah, I just sent you a message. But either way, you want to continue to connect with these people. You don't want the group to end and then realize that Amy, I'm just making up names tonight, never checked in one time and you never checked on her. I feel like if that happens, then it's almost like you let her fall through the cracks. But if you did your due diligence as a coach, you can't, just like Shana was saying, force people to work out and force people to eat right. But you can do what you promised by being that accountability coach for them and saying, hey, I haven't seen you in a couple of days or for a week. What's going on? Because maybe they're just being lazy or maybe something really bad happened and they need your love and support. You never know. So you need to ask. Maybe they just need the push, because that's what we're here for too, that tough love. So getting to know the person and checking on them behind the scenes is super, super important. Okay, we're trying to keep this short and sweet, but we also want to give you guys time to ask any questions and or share what's working for you guys in your challenge groups. So if you have something you want to say, go ahead and unmute yourself and chat with us.
And I will say, Andy, you were way nicer than me because I don't ask for permission. I figure if they bought a challenge pack and they wanted to do this with me, I call them out. I don't even ask for it. If they're not showing up, I totally call them out.
And that's cool. It's just a different in style. And I think that that's why coaching is awesome, because you're going to get the people like me, and maybe my people need Shana.
The other thing I wanted to bring up really quick, you guys, something I always do in my challenge groups, and you can do this or not. I mean, some people feel comfortable with it, some don't. I always give, and I make a post about it, I always give my challengers my phone number. And I always say, okay, if you need me, text me. Because I know for me, I'm just the same as Andy. I schedule when I check in with my challenge groups. I don't have the time to check in throughout the day. It gets way overwhelming, especially running like 3 separate groups. So I have, like, in the morning I'll check in with my challengers, and at night I'll check in with my challengers. And I know sometimes they'll have something like a question in the middle of the day, or maybe their Beachbody On Demand isn't working and they're frustrated, or hey, how many containers should I have of XYZ, or what do you think about this product? I always offer them my phone number, and I say in the group, look guys, this is when I check into the group, but if you have a question and you need me, I always have my phone on me, text me. I'm totally fine with you doing that. And I think that that's really helped. I've had so many of my challengers that we've become even like better friends than we would have been if we were just in the challenge group together, because now we text back and forth all of the time. And I like for me, I like it. Like, that's kind of my fun thing. I love like my challengers so much. But that's really, I feel like, helped, especially just being honest with them that, look, this is when I check in. So that, I mean, if they are having a struggle bus day, like Andy said, maybe somebody's having a really bad day and they're like, oh my gosh, keep me away from the candy bowl. If you post that at noon, I'm not going to see it till 8 o'clock at night. So I'm not going to be very helpful. So if you need my help, like, text me. So that's always been really helpful in my groups too. But yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start doing that. Thank you, Coach.
No problem. All right, does anybody have questions or anything they want to add, stuff that's working well for them in their groups, best practices for them?
Okay, I have a question for you. Who is going to take the challenge of inviting more people?
I always do, though.
Because I have one thing to add about that. I've been running a new coach training with Kim and Brittany from Faithfully Fit, and daily we ask everybody to check in with their Shakeology, and some of the days the check-in is name how many people you're inviting, and the trend has been just a few a day, which is how we've been teaching this whole time. And it's like, it was like a light bulb moment. Like, we're not encouraging everybody to invite enough people. And on top of that, the people who've been on the team for a long time, just about every single time I have a conversation with a coach who's having a hard time hitting Success Club, which just means that they're helping people. And I ask, well, how many people did you invite today? 1, 2, how many people did you invite in the last week? Maybe 5. That's just, I know if I was only inviting 1, 2, 5 people, it wouldn't be enough. In fact, last month when I was doing my average of 10 people a day like Shayna does, I barely helped 5 people. It was a last minute previous customer that was the last person to buy a challenge pack on the last day of the month that I wasn't expecting, and I kind of got lucky that I still hit Success Club 10 for March. And to me, I want to push myself to actually help more people and not be earning points from people who have already earned points from, if that makes sense. I want to like truly help new people. It's okay, we're wrapping up.
Do you have a question or something you wanted to add, hun? You unmuted yourself.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I just saw you unmuted yourself, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to say something.
Anyways, all that to say, it just fired me up to help more people. And it's not about the points. We use the points as a way to track how many people we're actually helping. But I just loved her fire behind what she had to say. And it's working. And one more thing I'll point out, sorry, Shayna, you're going to come in, is she talked about the duplication in her team. So she's been asked, she is on the radar, you guys. She's talking at Summit. That's a really big deal. Her business has grown so much in such a short amount of time that everybody's looking at this chick going, what are you doing? So to hear that what she's doing is just talking to a lot of people makes me feel really excited, because that's something that I can very easily do. And I hope that that is how you guys feel too. This is something that you can very easily do. Just in the last couple of days, I've tripled the amount of people that I typically talk to, and I still feel like I want to do more than that. And it's exciting to me. But she mentioned that she also has coaches on her team who are hitting these huge high Success Club numbers as well, which means This is not beginner's luck. This is not, there's not to like downplay this chick. She's awesome and amazing, but there's nothing special about her. And she even says that. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It just, she's doing an awesome job sharing her story. And then she's connecting the dots saying, do you want to do this with me? Do you want to do this with me? 62 times a day. So don't overcomplicate it and don't hold yourself back, and don't even wait till tomorrow to say, tomorrow I'll invite 62 people. Invite a ton of people right now, tonight. That's my challenge for you. And now I'll stop, Gabby.
All right, guys. Any other questions about challenge groups? Things you want to add about how you run Kick-Ass challenge groups? Anything like that? Jen's always so quiet at the end.
I actually remember why I unmuted. How often do you guys actually go in? So, Andy, you had mentioned in the prep week you talk about nutrition, but how often are you guys going on and using the containers and kind of talking about that?
I'm really bad about going on and showing myself using the containers, to be honest. I don't use the containers a whole lot because I've done these programs so much that I know what a container looks like. So I don't use them a whole lot. But
I have a video that I actually filmed forever ago. I wasn't pregnant, so at least 9 months ago. And where I show the containers and I talk about how I use them. And I talk a little bit about what Shayna just said, that I've been doing this long enough that I don't actually measure every day, but this is what it would look like. And I kind of spell it out. Excuse me for them. I just drank a lot of water. Kind of spell it out for them, like what a day looks like with the containers. Beyond that, in the daily things that I share, I don't always do like a container count. Kind of depends on what the recipe is. But a lot of times, this is how simple I try to keep it to teach the container system and just get people on track. My dinners at night are a green or two, because I probably haven't had enough anyways, and a red every night. Like I probably already had my yellows, probably too many. And so I talk about it in terms of that. Like, where do you map out your containers during the day? So if I share a recipe, sometimes I'll say, like, this is my dinner, so y'all know it's going to be a couple greens and a red, because that's all I have left in my day.
anything else, ladies?
No, I thought this was really good. Thanks for the extra tips.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, the last thing I want to say before we close it out, and I think that this is really important, ask yourself as you're running your challenge groups, am I having fun? Because I will tell you right now, if you are in your groups and you're thinking every time you have to check in, oh, I have to check in, I don't want to do this, that is how your challengers are feeling, okay? If you are not having fun, nobody is having fun. So if you've been using the same template and you're like, God, I'm so overseeing this post about how much water I should drink, use a different template. If you are feeling like just dragging in the group, like nobody's participating, go live. Do something to mix it up and make it fun. Throw out, every once in a while, throw out like a random challenge and be like, okay, this week I'm going to give a prize to the person who does XYZ. And just do something to make it fun for you. Because if it's not fun for you, it's not fun for everybody else. And the one thing that I will say is, it is hard enough to stay on track with your fitness and your nutrition. Try your best to make it fun, because this should be a lifestyle, and it's not going to be a lifestyle anyone, your challengers included, want to sustain if they are miserable doing it. So if you're not having fun, they're not having fun. So ask yourself that every once in a while. Just be like, am I having fun doing this? Do I want to do this? And if the answer is yes, then you're doing awesome. And if the answer is no, switch it up and figure out what's going to make it fun for you. Because I'll tell you right now, when I'm having more fun, everything seems to be going so much better. So that's my last little spiel. And I hope you guys all have an amazing night. And that's all.
I just thought of one more tip. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, when you were doing so Shayna talked about templates and posting every morning, like they need to see something from you every day that's not just your personal check-in. I did my workout, I drank my shake, I ate the right food sort of thing. But when you do your check-in, and I can't say I'm great about this every single day, but when you do, set the bar high in really talking about what you did. Don't just say, this is one thing that I don't like about the app. It gets so easy to just say 21-day fix cardio or vanilla Shakeology. if you set the trend on that's how you're checking in, that's how your people are going to check in. Then you're not going to get to know them. But if you post every day, I just killed it in cardio 21 Day Fix. I didn't want to. I actually hate this workout. It's like my least favorite one ever. And my kids were begging me and you share that real life in the post with your picture. People will engage on it, and then they will share that when they post rather than just saying, I did my workout. And that really helps to boost the morale and the camaraderie. I've noticed that so much in the 80-day group that I'm running, that they're now on day 75, which is crazy. They're sharing so much in that group in their check-ins, and they're all doing the same workout every day. Like, I know they all did AAA today, and half of them hated it. And they're still saying, I did AAA day 75, but then it's like paragraph. You want that from these people because that's what's going to help them stay engaged and actually get results. Anybody could just go on MyFitnessPal and click, 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 click. Am I right? So you need to set the bar high that this is different and you do have something to offer. But if you aren't checking in that way, then they won't either. Okay, I'm done. I promise. I hope you guys have a good night. I am going to post this recording on the team pages. And if you think of any other questions, you can ask one of us or ask on the team page. All right, guys.
Good night, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.